for a second. Transmission of fire alarm control unit signals through a radio network. Wait, we lost Mr. Rose.
We don't do
I looked up Palace Coup.
We can go. Please.
What do I, Mr. Dugan, you want to say anything? Oh, that's right, it is you. Go ahead.
That's right, I'll start.
Go, Mr. Dugan.
Which really isn't something that's new to municipalities. A lot of municipalities are actually in the alarm monitoring business, so it's not like it's a new thing and we're cutting edge or anything. So a lot of municipalities are doing it. What we're recommending to you is that we further pursue the municipal-owned model whereby the city of Wheaton would own the alarm monitoring panel at our station. We would also recommend that we go to a radio wireless-based network. And he's present tonight to give you a more detailed, much more detailed than I can, explanation of the radio system, if you like.
And those signals, whether you're sending them to ADT or whether they're coming through the city, are called supervising station monitoring. Remote station signaling, as I mentioned, that's what you have. It's currently provided and required by the city. Involves alarm and trouble signal monitoring by DUCOM through equipment, which is called the head end, currently owned and operated by ADT, and that's located at the headquarters fire station. And again, they're using the phone lines. The rules for this are found in the National Fire Alarm Code. We're kind of unique in our area that we want the signals to come directly to us. It benefits the fire department because there's no delay in the signal being received. For years, municipalities have used phone lines as a method of transmitting fire alarm signals. You activate an alarm in this building, and just from my experience, DUCOM would know about it in about 3 to 4 seconds versus a central station, which can take as long as 15 minutes for the signal to come from the building and get to the fire department by code. So there's a big time difference there. So it's to your credit that you already have this in place. Alarm signals are received directly without going through a third party. It goes right to DUCOM, and then the fire department is immediately dispatched. We're going through this now in Woodstock because their network is just getting installed right now. You know, it's amazing that happens, but you know, a lot of people don't even know what their fees are. So whether they may be paid by the property owner themselves, or they may be paid through a bundled service plan with their fire alarm contractor. If somebody is sending their fire alarm signal through a copper circuit, they're running 8534 with the taxes included. Fiber optic circuits 4760. If you get a new fire alarm installed in town, in a business, they'll pay anywhere from $98 to $185 for AT&T to come out 4 to 6, 8 weeks to put a new phone line in for you.
Mayor, if the council may remember, a number of months ago we discussed in a planning session the concept of taking over, the city taking over the fire alarm monitoring network in the city. That service is currently provided by a private company. The recommendation is that the bid be awarded to Chicago Metro Fire Prevention Company for a purchase price of $868,293. This is the result of a bidding process. As you will note in reading the bid award recommendation, there were 2 other companies that submitted a bid lower than the bid of Chicago Metro Fire Prevention Company. The consultant is recommending the third low bidder due to the fact that they did not believe that one of the companies had the capability to implement a system the size of the one that would be needed in the city of Wheaton. And the second, or the other company had a number of, or the consultant received some negative feedback from a number of the customers that they already have relating to their operations, their customer relations, and their system. The system, as we described to you, should ultimately save all of our fire alarm system users a pretty good amount of money, depending on ultimately where we set the prices for the alarm service. It would appear to us that we certainly can come in with a price that is less than what is currently being charged. And the intent of this program is that these monies, the funding of this project, would come from our equipment replacement fund. and that the purchase price of the $868,000, if we go with the bidder as recommended, would be paid back through the user fees that are established by the city for the service. And Mr. Dugan, correct me if I'm wrong, a 3-year payback is what we are looking at. So the staff would recommend, based upon the analysis of the consultant, following the consultant's recommendation and awarding the bid to Chicago Metro Fire Prevention Company.
Could I have a motion to that end?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Levine. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cease, thank you. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Levine.
I think this, we discussed this before, and I think this is a great way to go for the city, based on a number of factors. Everything that basically is set out in the memo. It's going to be better for the customers. It's going to be better for the city. It's going to be better for our fire prevention, and it's going to reduce costs for everyone and provide some revenue for the city at no additional cost to the people who are going to be using this. So I strongly recommend this, and I'm glad to see that staff has done the work to get this accomplished. So I commend them for that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Ms. Cease.
I just have a point of clarification. As it was mentioned, the bid that we're looking at is essentially the third lowest bid. Is anybody, do we have a representative from the consultant here today?
Yes.
Olson with FSCI.
Okay. Sir, can you represent that in serving as the consultant, you don't receive any funds from any of the providers that you're recommending to us?
That is correct.
Okay.
We do not, we work for,
Your only compensation on this is the fee from the city?
that is absolutely correct, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we're good. Thank you, sir. I think that's it. Emily, could you take roll?
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Mr. Mahelis.
Yes.
Mr. Gress.
Yes.
Mr. Prendeville.
Yes.
Mr. Scalzo.
Yes.
Mr. Cease.
Yes.
Mrs. Corey.
Yes.
Item 5 under new business is an ordinance amending section 2-51 and adding a
Maintenance and repair of the head-end equipment is the responsibility of and the cost to the authorized dealer or the city if the city ends up owning the network. That's the presentation. Now
It also identifies that the city will own and maintain all of the equipment and requires each subscriber to register with the city, giving us certain information. The two newer systems that have been implemented include Elmhurst at 85, Lyle Woodward's at 66, and Woodstock at $90 a month. The startup costs that we will incur for a total of $876,000. We will incur on a monthly basis. They total $28.38. They include the DUCOM fee of $14 a month. They also include a $7.30 capital equipment replacement amount, which will allow us to replace all the equipment in 20 years. Monthly rates of other municipalities that offer a alarm network system, you can see those rates range from $50 a month to $121 a month. The minimum monthly rate to cover the city's costs for the first 3 years is $65.62. Since they're paying $135 a month today, they'll also see a savings of $600, which is pretty good. We make a little money, they save some money. So we currently have an ordinance which is called the Direct Connect Ordinance, which requires anyone within the city that has a fire alarm panel to directly connect to our panel. We might see a little bit of revenue this upcoming fiscal year, but the majority of it will be in 11-12. Even I don't know what other municipalities are doing with homes, if they are direct connect or not. I'm not sure that's something we would want as a direct connect. It's for the same reason why the police department doesn't want burglar alarms direct connect, because they'd be out on alarms all the time. Oh, I forgot to turn off my burglar alarm. You know, I got up in the middle of the night and forgot to turn it off. We'd be sending people out all day long, just chasing down alarms.
ADT, Broadview instead of Brinks. That's exactly what they do. They'll give you an introductory price of $99, but then they get the monitoring fee, obviously, because of their telephone.
Because they have to have a separate dedicated line for the alarm today, whereas at home you don't have to. You can go off from your existing telephone line. They have to go out to AT&T